Comments from council members? Irene? Or, no? No, no. That's your call.
Yeah.
Um,
No?
I have to do it Thursday. Any council member comments?
Through the chair.
Yes, please.
So I wanted to make just a very just a broad statement. I've heard some dissatisfaction from members of the public in terms of our apparent lack of, well, it's a perceived lack of transparency in what we do, and part of it has to do with the fact that we can't just randomly respond to comments that are made online, and we can't engage with the public as sometimes as freely as we would want to. But I did want to just reaffirm, I believe it, and those of you that I've worked with for years, I believe you all feel the same way, that we do respect the public's opinions, and we do make ourselves available to the public. And although we don't always respond on social media, it doesn't indicate in any way that we do not care about what our constituents feel. I think tonight was a great example of the community coming here to be heard in a very respectful, mutually respectful, and productive exchange of ideas and thoughts. And I believe that if this city is going to move forward, we need more of that kind of interaction with the public, engaging with their elected officials and with staff, and that really is the only way we're going to move forward. So it is not helpful for people to try to put a wedge between us and the people that we serve, because that is not going to help anyone. And so I hope that we can see more constructive dialogue and progress on the issues that are important to all of us. So I just wanted to say that. To that effect, there is one issue that's sitting out there that I would like to come back to, because I do think it's important, and it touches on a lot of different things that are important to the community and important to the council, and that is having to do with a proposal around zoning for our transit corridor plan. That's something that we brought up. We discussed it in a study session, and I know that staff was going to go back and do some more work. I would like for us to get ahead of that before any more projects are proposed, before anything else goes down the pike. I do want us to come to an agreement on whether we are going to change zoning or whether we're going to adjust what's in that corridor plan. I do want to get some closure on that. So as soon as staff could possibly bring something back for us to discuss again, whether it's another study session, if you feel that we need to be further educated, or something for us to vote on, I would definitely appreciate seeing that sooner rather than later. Thank you.
I would like to concur with that too, Councilmember Salazar, and maybe suggest a study session, because it allows for the open dialogue and the communication versus a council meeting where we can get a report, residents get the 2 minutes, but it's becoming a hot item with new development and parking, and residents thinking that you could just say, oh, new development and there's no public streets. You can't park in public streets. So it really is part of an education process, as well as revisiting the zoning.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Marty?
So let's open up that can of worms.
It's open.
It's open, and I agree. I'm on social media. I see it. It actually, when people say that the council doesn't care, I think that's kind of a low blow, but some people decide to use those words. They're totally wrong. What the public needs to do is to understand the process. When you want to start a petition, you get your petition, and you get your supporters, and you provide it to the council. Some people think it's the other way around. One of the petitions, they're asking the council to go ahead and, hey, are you going to support it? It's like, you got it backwards. You're going to go out and get the people to sign, and then you bring that to the council. So checked with the city attorney, and there's some consequences. And city attorney, if I'm wrong, I'm probably not going to say it as eloquently as you, but the whole point is you can't jump on a petition and say you support it regarding a development project, because that shows bias. If whether you're showing in favor of something or against something, and that could be detrimental to the council later on. And I'm hoping that we can put that in writing and share that with social media so that it could be properly said. Because I'm not going to, I'd have to read, and I don't want to do that right now. I also want to, I want to thank our city manager. Someone asked me a while ago, so your city manager's leaving, and, what are you going to say? It's like, well, obviously. I started working here, I think in 2001. I can't remember now, it's such a long time ago. And I haven't always agreed with my city manager. I somehow disagree with a lot of people sometimes. But I try to work for the good of my city, of my department when I worked here, to see how things could be better. And that's why I'm on the council. And although I may disagree, I know we agree that we want the best for our city. And I sincerely want you to know that I appreciate the hours of time that you spent with me, helping me understand what can be done and what cannot be done. And it was a little frustrating at first, but I look forward to our weekly Monday meetings of how, I'm going to get some information and how could we work together to improve our city for everyone. And there's some difference of opinions. And as we saw tonight, you can do that still in a respectful way. But I want to sincerely thank you for that. I respect your effort, your years of service, and I wish you the very best and whatever it is that you choose to do. So thank you.
All right, last comments from myself before we move into a moment of silence. So you heard from two of the former mayors, and I've probably had the shortest time as mayor. But one thing that people have always asked too, it's a different seat, but is it really different? The answer is yes. People think you have all this wielding power just to pick up the phone and something will change and policy will be made. But what I have known from my time as a city employee with city managers, and I've seen a few, and again at my level I wasn't working always that closely, but from Jerry Minford all the way through Connie Jackson, that goes back a long time. And so what you do appreciate is that until you sometimes walk in the shoes, you don't understand the challenges that it faces, and that goes with any of the department heads. But what I do know is that there has always been the dedication, the devotion, the care, the concern, and the respect. I have gone through this county for quite a bit, work-wise and not, and there is never a time that I've heard someone say, well, you know what I heard that the city manager said to staff about council? Never. And Connie has and will, as we all know, work into the hours because at the time we receive emails. But your devotion to the city is without question. And through this transition process, you are making it seamless and working very collaboratively with the new city manager to be. And I appreciate that because it's new for me trying to work in that transitional period as a mayor. But you've made that very easy, and my ability to try to continue on for the betterment of San Bruno. So I want to thank you too for your time and your effort and your about 15 years with this city through some challenging, real challenging times and some good times. And I think we'll still be having good times for you to see coming forward when we finish that project at Glenview and Crestmore. So thank you again. And thank you to my colleagues, because I think we all had a good night, and I appreciate all your efforts and with the subcommittees. And unfortunately, I am going to end in a moment of silence for someone, but well deserved and respected. Alex Irwin Rollator passed away peacefully in his sleep on July 16th. Alex proudly served his country in the United States Marine Corps, which for which of you that knew Alex, he was extremely, very proud of that service and extremely patriotic to this country. He began his law enforcement career with the city of San Bruno from 1999 to 2003, and then he went to work for the city of Daly City, where he had the rank of sergeant. One person who knew and worked with Alex said, quote, "I think that among the many things that could be said of Alex, the thing that always stuck with me about him as a cop was the fact that he garnered respect from every person that he came in contact with because he genuinely cared about them. Alex was respected by cops, crooks, and civilians alike because he cared for all of them," unquote. Alex loved many things in life, and his family meant everything to him. He loved having and making friends. He could make anyone feel loved through his humor, smile, hugs, and outgoing personality. He enjoyed nothing more than having a group of people over for a barbecue. He enjoyed sitting by his beloved pond, lighting his fire pit, and telling stories while watching the sunset in what he called God's country. Alex claimed that no matter where he went in life, his heart would always be in San Bruno. For me personally, I've watched Alex grow up in this community. He went to school, played sports, and worked in San Bruno. He served in uniform, both for his nation and community, which not everyone can say they have done. Through this shock and seeing the community support and those that came back to celebrate his life, who grew up here in this city, Alex has reminded me that you do not have to look far in San Bruno to see the positive he found and why he loves this city. This is why he and his heart will always be a part of this community, known as a city with a heart. Our support, prayers, and thoughts are with the Rollator family, and if we can adjourn in a moment of silence, please. Thank you, and we'll adjourn to the next regular City Council meeting to be held here on August 28th at 7 p.m. at the San Bruno Senior Center. Thank you, and have a good night.